Hi guys, so today we're going to be working on this nail design. Instead of starting from scratch, what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to transform a white tip manicure into something a little bit different and fun. So let's go ahead and get started on the items that you need. So first thing you're going to need is your base and top coat. I'm using DIY or Die Hard nails. You are also going to need Clearly Natural. The next item that you're going to need is a little bowl or something that you can put alcohol in, and then a synthetic brush. This is the one I used. You could use a smaller or bigger one. It's up to you. You're also going to need your isopropyl alcohol. I like 91%. It seems to work the best for this. I find this in the drugstore. And then you're going to need 6 markers of your choice. This is what I used. I used the Sharpie brand. Any permanent marker should work. You can also use alcohol inks. So let's go ahead and get started in the tutorial. So to start out this design, if you already have extensions on, what you want to do is you want to remove the shiny layer off of the extension. So you're just going to do that with the file. Go in and lightly buff until you get that nice and matte. And then you want to clean that off with soap and water. Now if you're starting this manicure with natural nails, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do your base coat, and you're going to want to apply white polish onto the tip, creating your French tip. And then we can get started with the next step, which is actually decorating. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the shiny layer, wash my hands, and then I will meet you back for the actual design of this. Now because we're going to be working with permanent markers later on, we want to make sure that we're not going to actually stain the white tips and the gel that's here, or acrylic, depending what you're working over. So you're going to go in with your gel polish. This is in the color Naturally Clear. Because you're working over extensions, you do not need to put a base coat, but you can if you prefer. I'm going to go right into Naturally Clear just so that it's not as thick. And again, if you're doing this over natural nails, you would have started with your base coat, done your white tips, and then went in with the Naturally Clear to give yourself a nice smooth surface to work on. You want to apply a thin, even layer, making sure to cap the tip of the nail. Make sure that you don't get on your side walls or flood the cuticle area. That will give you lifting. Once you've cured the Clearly Natural, go ahead and remove the tacky layer. Now for this next step, you're going to need 6 markers of your choice. This is the color arrangement that I chose to use. I'm going to do a rainbow across my nails. So starting with your first color, you're going to color half of the nail, just where the white is. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. The colors are going to bleed together. Then you're going to use your second color. You're going to do the same thing for the next one, starting with the last color you used. So for this one, it's orange. If it gets on your skin, that's fine. You can clean that up with alcohol later. And you're just going to continue doing this until you get to the end of all 5 fingers. So now I'm going to be using this synthetic brush and rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol, again 91%. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my brush, I'm going to dry it off a little bit, and I'm just going to start tapping so that the colors blend together. Now if the color bleeds too much, you just go back in with your marker and just add some more where you need it. Then go ahead and move on to the next set of colors, and you're just going to continue doing that all the way down the line. And you should end up with something like that. Once you're happy with the design, you're going to go ahead and apply your top coat. Today I'm using DIY or Die Hard nails. And you want to make sure that you encapsulate the entire thing. Once you're done, go ahead and remove the tacky layer with rubbing alcohol. You can also go in with your brush and a little bit of rubbing alcohol and clean up anything that's on the sides that you don't want there. Hi guys, so here's the final look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to change a classic white French tip into something a little bit different. I went ahead and did the opposite on this hand, so instead of starting with the orange and pink, I started with the purple and blue, which is what I have on the thumb here, and I just did the reverse. And of course you could do the same on both hands or pick your favorite colors. And as always, thank you for watching.